It's the 29th of August on a beautiful Thursday morning in the beautiful city of Lagos. And one thing is constant, and that is Wake Up Nigeria. I've got MM in the kitchen.
Hi, Yomi. How you doing?
MM has been checking me out. Somebody said I look like Idris Elba, so I'm just feeling myself. What look do you have on your face today?
Everything doesn't have to be about you. You know that, right? Yeah. And it's 6 a.m. people. And of course, you know it's your #1 breakfast show, as we have so much to offer.
Yes,
today,
indeed.
Right?
Today we have food, music, poetry, many other things for you, and it's going to be really, really special.
His name is Yomi Owokwe, by the way, just in case you don't know.
And that lovely pregnant lady over there.
Oh,
that's
thank
MM
you, Yoms.
this
Thank
morning.
you.
Anyway, we're
you.
streaming live right now at TVC Entertainment.tv and on Facebook and Instagram. Check us out at TVC Connect.
So please send in your comments on all of our social media platforms with the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. You can also download our mobile app from any of our Android or iOS store to watch us live on your mobile device from anywhere in the world.
Anyway, so basically it's going to be a special day today, and first thing we're going to be doing is we are going to be having
Jasmine.
Money in yeah, we are rich. Both niggas never link up, yeah, we package.
And for some inspirational poetry this morning, we have Michael Taiwo Oloide, a next generation poet.
And for the latest in the world of gadgets, we have Tech Up in a Bit. You don't want to miss out on this one, people.
Also, Oluwadamilola Teller is, well, aka Oluwadamilola Music, is an Afro-pop and Fuji singer, and she'll be performing her song Kokpe Meji.
Victoria Olatunji Olayemi is the author and writer of the book Stand Out or Be Left Out, and she'll be joining us shortly to talk about her book.
And also, Mudasiri Ayola is an artist whose style is twofold, mainly named Hula Motifs.
And our last guest for the day is award-winning Nollywood actor Lydia John.
Don't seem to get this mission.
Hey, people.
Hey.
Welcome.
Sorry about your leg, Mary.
Mary, what
Well,
happened?
A vehicle reversed on my foot
Oh,
and
wow.
crushed the big toe.
Wow.
So it's really bad.
You haven't seen a doctor yet?
I haven't been able to.
Yeah, so probably this morning, right after the show.
Sorry.
Really sorry about that. I mean,
Yes.
oh.
We speak healing. You're speaking things into existence this month.
Yes, indeed. We're going to pray with you
Yeah,
and
you'll be
pray
all right.
that everything's going to be
So what's up,
sorted
guys?
out.
What's happening?
Well, it's Thursday, so I mean, I ran into a few people at the door when I was coming in, and they were just saying that, man, it's been a long week, and so, but yeah, it's Thursday, and people are looking forward to the weekend. That's
I've
basically
actually
what's
been getting the days wrong this week. I took Monday for Tuesday.
Are you serious?
Yeah, actually, for breakfast, I prepared something for Tuesday on
happening. That was
Monday.
supposed to be Monday.
On Wednesday, on Tuesday, I prepared something for it because I was just like,
All
in
over
fact,
the
at some point, I
place.
started saying yesterday, 29th of August, like I couldn't wait
You're
for
in a
the
hurry
month
to finish up the
end.
month. Anyway, so we're going to be taking the news very shortly, but a few things that we're going to be talking about also on the coffee gist. Now, let's go to the news. My name is Yomi Owokwe, and more than 40 persons, mostly young girls, are believed to have been kidnapped by bandits in Woma village, Kurfi, a local government area of Katsina State. No official statement has been issued by either the police or the state authorities on the matter. Kurfi local government is just about 40 kilometers away from the state capital and is witnessing such an attack for the first time. Katsina State has witnessed a drastic reduction in banditry and kidnappings due to increased security measures by the state government. But now there seems to be a gradual resurgence of criminal activities, and it is extending beyond the 8 border local governments it had been earlier restricted to. Similarly, at least 3 students have been kidnapped along the Abuja-Kaduna highway. Official confirmation has been difficult to secure, but sources say the number of kidnapped persons could be as high as 7. The incident took place on Tuesday when gunmen blocked the highway, intercepted vehicles before disappearing with the victims. The 3 students are said to be final-year undergraduates of the Ahmadu Bello University. Meanwhile, management of the Ahmadu Bello University have confirmed the abduction of the 3 final-year students from the Faculty of Law. ABU's Director of Public Affairs, Dr. Ismail Shehu, in a statement confirming the incident, said efforts are being made by the university and parents of the affected students to secure their immediate release. The federal government has decreased the visa charges payable by U.S. citizens in line with a reciprocity policy. U.S. applicants for Nigeria visa will now pay $150. Before now, they were made to pay $270, while Nigerians paid $160 for a U.S. visa. The discrepancy made the U.S. to introduce a reciprocative fee of $110 for successful visa applications of Nigerian origin. Nigeria's Ministry of Interior admits that there had been efforts by the U.S. to resolve the differences which Nigeria reciprocated, but had a delay in implementation. The changes will take effect from tomorrow. Dismissed Nigerian Army officer Lance Corporal Ajayi Johnson, accused of murder of Chimaobi Nwogu, a motorcyclist, Okada rider, in Obingwa local government area of Abia State, has been arraigned at the magistrate court in Umuahia on Wednesday. Dismissed soldier, the corporal, 29, was arraigned for the murder of Chimaobi Nwogu, and he, of course, was from Abia State in Umuahia. And the matter between the prosecutor, counsel, commissioner of police and defendant Ajayi Johnson brought before the Justice Linda Ugwaja court in section 319, subsection 1 of the Criminal Code, cap 80, volume 3, law of Abia State, 2005. The matter, according to the prosecutor counsel, had been adjourned to 16th of September 2019, and the accused had been remanded in prison custody pending the outcome of the investigation carried out by the police. Of course, further news on this, we have he was apprehended later on, and of course he has now been charged to court. Now, the 2019 Interpol Week has come to an end with the Nigerian Police and Immigration Service pledging to serve better in terms of handling criminal cases. Habida Lawal brings us the report from the closing of the Interpol Week. Let's take a look.
International crimes involving Nigerians has had a negative effect on the country's image as part of measures to address regional insecurity and enhance collaboration among security agencies. The Inspector General of Police announced a collaboration with parliamentary agencies in combating international crimes. At the closing of the long Interpol Week, participants were urged to make use of prerequisite knowledge gained to approach crimes. All 194 member countries are on the Interpol database.
We can all confidently return to our duty post with the self-confidence that we now are equipped with the requisite knowledge and strong professional bond to truly make the world a safe place. By this, we are aligning with the theme of the event and fulfilling the mission of Interpol in relation to preventing and fighting crime through enhanced international police cooperation.
For its part, the Immigration Service is committed to ensuring that it assesses properly the kind of people that enter and leave the country.
I would like to assure the Interpol family at Lyon, at the regional level, at the NCB, that immigration will be a worthy agency to trust. Because we must be honest, we must be transparent, we must not compromise security issues, because that's the only way we can be trusted. The whole world contact is with us. We'll upload whatever is there, and we'll make sure we report to you through our NCB.
The capacity of the participants were greatly enhanced, and it is expected that this will impact on their approach to addressing the challenges of policing in the 21st century. Habida Lawal, TVC News, Abuja.
Well, that's it on the news update for this hour. We're going to take a quick break down and right back with the sports news. Thanks so much, Mike. We're looking at various papers this morning, starting with the Daily Sun that I have in my hand. Internet fraud. Wait for more shocker, says the EFCC. Says commission will unravel bigger suspects. Begins clamp down on bankers, BDC operators. Wow. Detains 2 top officials of NDPHC. Others over 16 billion naira power probe. Up here, federal government exposes El Zakzaky, accuses Shiite leader of plotting to Islamize Nigeria, not recognizing Buhari as president. Now in the middle, we have Showore to remain in detention as court refuses bail. And federal government clamps down on NGOs firms, says they're financing terrorism, may commence delisting soon. Ruga Nwodo never collected bribe from federal government, says Governor Obi. And then on the cover of Daily Sun, we have a photograph, an interesting photograph. Talks about DJ Copy cheering up children during her visit to victims of conflict at Save the Nigeria Stabilization Center in Maiduguri, Borno State. And this was yesterday. And that's what we have on the cover of the Daily Sun.
So I have the Vanguard newspaper here, and it says, insecurity worsens, 3 ABU students, 4 others kidnapped. Final year law students, 4 others kidnapped along Abuja-Kaduna Expressway. How Southwest curb banditry, kidnapping, and that's coming from DAWN. As police rescue 10 women abducted in Katsina community, Delta governor's sister-in-law kidnapped. Police Commissioner, Delta government deny incident. Moving on, we see federal government renews moves to resuscitate Ajao Kuta Steel. Take it easy with my angel, Otedola wants Mr. Easy. Why we shut border with Benin? That's coming from President Buhari. Ramaphosa regrets killings of Nigerians in South Africa. Moving on, Iran sponsoring El Zakzaky to turn Nigeria to Islamic State, and that's what the federal government claims. Judge declines to hear Showore's bail request. Federal government bows to U.S., cuts visa charges. Oh, wow, I didn't see that one coming. $16 billion power probe, 2 government officials, 2 CEOs held over 50 billion naira payout. Nigeria police, this is an article I'm sure, victim or villain. You'll see this one on the page 28 of the Vanguard newspaper.
And then we've got The Guardian here, and the headline, absence of Buhari or Shibajo stalls first meeting of the FEC. Nigerians plan protest at UN over El Zakzaky, Showore, others, and courts to hear IMN's application over prescription on September 11. And up here we have a couple of other stories. Court rejects Showore's application to quash detention, and government bows to pressure reduces visa fees for U.S. citizens. And Dankwambo escapes abduction as bandits kill 3 and kidnap passengers. Wow. And finally, Nigerians back private ranches. Oyo rejects open grazing. New bill gives conditions to herders. And Ghana is faced with similar cattlemen's crisis. And that's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
All right, it's the Punch newspaper now. It says, Chinese firms handling $47 billion key federal government projects. Railway to gob $33 billion. Power supply contracts take $10 billion. Attraction to China, low prices, cheap labor, low interest loans. Those are the reasons given. Moving on, we see a photo story here of the president at the 7th Tokyo International Conference on African Development. in Yokohama, Japan. Moving on, up here, NPC members raise concerns over federal government states' debts. Nigeria-Benin border closed to stop smuggling coming from President Buhari. Power probe, NDPHC officials detained for alleged 850 million naira fraud. Iran backing El Zakzaky to Islamize Nigeria, claims the federal government. This was also on the Vanguard. Judge turns down Showere's application against detention order. Big boys added to FBI fraud suspects. That's coming from the EFCC. I wonder what they mean by big boys. I'll check that out. A rape. Police to grill Fatoyinbo for third day. That's down here. Quite a number of interesting stories that will definitely catch your interest. All of these stories, though, on the front page of the Punch newspaper.
And then we've got The Nation here. We shut Benin border over rice smuggling, says Buhari. When president to meet with Benin and Niger leaders. Over here, we've got another story. Iran backing El Zakzaky to Islamize Nigeria, says federal government. And a bunch of stories up here. 48 feared kidnapped in Katsina communities on page 5. And Nigerians' shops attacked in South Africa. That story is on page 6. And governors kick, others hail NDDC board. And federal government cuts visa fees for U.S. citizens. And Okagbari, why I didn't protest a 100-meter ban. And Koza pastor Fatoyinbo gets bail. And that's what we have on the cover of The Nation.
All right, I have this day newspaper here, and it says smugglers suffer huge losses as Buhari confirms Benin-Nigeria border closure. President says measure taken to curb rice smuggling. Divisional headquarters panel indicts army captain over Wadume's escape. Recommends further investigation on alleged gun running with suspect. Idle power rises to 4,000 megawatts, Genco's claim. Up here, we see EFCC collates more data on Nigerians indicted in the U.S. That's the bigger boy story. IG urges anti-graft agencies to key into Interpol's crime database. Risk concerns push airlines insurance to 13 billion naira annually. All of these stories and more in this day newspaper today.
Well, that's about all that we can take. We'll take a short break now and be right back with traffic.
Hello, people. Good morning. It's that time of the day where we update you on the traffic situation around Lagos. Please note that you can always be a part of this segment by sending us a message on any of our social media platforms. Let us know what your traffic situation is and perhaps take a traffic selfie. Please do not be on wheels, do not be behind the wheels when taking your traffic selfie or updating us on the traffic situation where you're at is like. Okay, so this morning I'm going to be updating you on traffic situation up and around Ikorodu. So if you're in Ikorodu at the moment and you're making your way out of Ikorodu, I'm here for you guys. And of course, I've got my people in the kitchen. They'll be updating us on social media as well. Sorry. Hey, guys. What's up? What's going on? Sorry,
hey,
that's a tongue twister there.
Yeah.
All right, yes.
We're ready for you. We're ready for you.
You're ready for me?
Yes,
I trust you, Yomi. All right, so yes, if you're in Ikorodu at this moment, you're making your way out of Ikorodu maybe to K2 or Mile 12 or the island this morning. So along the Ikorodu Road towards Agric, there is a bit of traffic at the Agric bus stop, but after Agric there is no traffic at all the way to Ogolonso. There is no traffic at all, and yes, so there are pockets of traffic at some of the bus stops along the way, but it's not so serious. just very light traffic if you're making your way out of Ikorodu this morning. So let's see what the traffic situation around Owode Oniri is like, because that's a traffic prone area. Yes. So so along the Irawo, yes, there is traffic along Irawo this morning, and all the way, not so serious. So yes, there are pockets of traffic after Irawo, not so serious. Owode Oniri seems to be free this morning. That's quite surprising. Oh yeah, it's a Thursday, so businesses have not started in that area yet, so it's quite free. And all the way to mile 12, there is no traffic, but there is traffic on the Mile 12 bridge at the moment, and then not so serious. And all the way to, wow. So if you're approaching Iyano School, Ketu, there is traffic at this moment, this morning. Wow. All right, so let's see what the traffic situation. So there's traffic in Ketu at the moment. So if you're making your way to Maryland, whoa. Okay, so if you're making your way to Ojota, the Ojota traffic is serious at this point. If you're going through the service lane, there is a bit of traffic, and there's only a bit of there is traffic actually even on the main road. Wow, terrible. Okay, so but after Ojota towards Maryland, there is no traffic at this point. And so yes, Maryland seems to be free all the way to Idiroko. There is no traffic impediment at this time. I don't know if you guys have any updates for me yet on social media.
Yeah, I have happened to have some. The most recent being just about 4 minutes ago. Maryland inward Sheraton currently good to go. Eric Moore en route Brewery is currently good to go. I believe that's about the most recent. Every other ones are earlier. That was via traffic butter, by the way. Traffic chief engineer.
The only updates I have here is that, of course, Obakan is very busy now because of the construction going on there. But under the bridge in Ikeja is also pretty busy right now. So you might need to look for alternative routes to get to where you're going. Yeah, so that's for Ikeja area. Allen Avenue, Okwebi, all of that is free right now. So that's what I've got.
Yeah, so I'm also checking traffic button now. It says traffic has been relatively light in Lagos today. There's someone says there's traffic at Jakonde Gates by this time on a Thursday. Now, the issue is there are so many Jakonde estates in Lagos. I wish the person had
specified which one.
Yeah. Which of the, maybe it's the one at Isolo though. So person said there's traffic at Jakonde Gate this morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what we've got from
all right.
here.
Thank you very much, guys. Quickly, I'll update you guys on the traffic situation on the 3rd Mainland Bridge. So most of the bridge like most of the 3rd Mainland Bridge this morning, there is no traffic. But when approaching Dolphin Estates, there is traffic at this moment. If you're making your way to the island this morning, yes, there is a bit of heavy traffic at some point on the 3rd Mainland Bridge, and it's quite not so tight, but hey, it's a moving traffic. Eventually you get to the island in no time. But relatively, looking across the island, there is light traffic here and there, not so serious traffic. Hopefully you can still, get to your destination in good time if you make your way out of where you live now, because, businesses have not started. So there's, not so many people on the road yet. So that's it on traffic updates this morning. Guys, I have just to walk away. I will join you all in the kitchen. There's something I would like us to talk about, really. It's quite serious, actually. Okay. Yeah, so I'll join you guys in a bit.
So while we're waiting for you to arrive, so Nigeria finally dropped the visa fee back to $160 because of the the US threats. And the fact that a lot of Nigerians really complain that $100K for a visa
is interesting. They acted.
Yeah.
So they've been discussing for like over a year and a half. they've been trying to negotiate with Nigerian government, and Nigeria was for me, Jagaban.
Yeah.
They just acted.
Yeah.
we don't reduce
So
the
I
fee.
saw, my husband and I talked about that last night. Oh, wow, Mike being a gentleman. So sweet.
Damn,
Thank
just
you.
sit down on top of the chair before you stop talking, Lindsay.
Yes, so I actually really wanted to talk about something very serious. I witnessed at the hospital
Sorry, just
yesterday.
before that,
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out that on the visa issue, I'm not quite sure if the US is going to react immediately, though.
Well, I
it's
think so
something that
too.
I think might
I don't think, yeah, it might take a while, yeah.
Because they might also want to retaliate.
Yes, yeah.
That it took you so long. So it's a 50-50 thing.
Yeah. So, okay, so for the first, not for the first time yesterday, while I was talking with my one of the midwives was attending to me during my antenatal yesterday. This woman rushed in with a baby, a dead baby. And the minute I saw that, she came in, she was confused, and then we saw one woman who happened to be her sister-in-law, screaming, blaming her, throwing insults at her. And the minute we saw that baby, we knew that that baby was not alive anymore. And, it turns out that the baby had been sick for a while. And because the husband had not been around, she was waiting and hoping that he would come, to give monies for her to take the baby to the hospital. And eventually, this baby, I don't know how she handled that situation, but apparently from her sister-in-law, she didn't handle the situation well. And, it was quite sad. It was very, 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 very sad. It was quite an emotional day for me yesterday. But what I got from it, because there's so many things, so many people saying all sorts of things yesterday. And there was something that the sister-in-law said that struck me. And what she said was, it's her first time being a mother. The sister-in-law has had, she has 7 children. So for whatever, issues that she was not able to handle, she should have come to her that has, that experience, to be able to share with her and tell her what to do and what not to do. And another thing, again, I actually really need to let people know because people really do not know. So I found out yesterday that health care in general hospital is generally free for children. They're not going to charge you anything. So if your child is sick, even if it is as little as a cough or catarrh or whatever, you take your child to a general hospital that, at the end of the day, you're going to pay something really small. You're paying like a meager amount of money, and they're not going to request for it, on arrival. They will first of all treat the emergency first before, And then another thing is, sometimes when I even go for antenatal, I see a lot of women using their data to watch, movies online. Do your research. Use that time to do a lot of research because not all of the information your healthcare providers are going to give to you. Sometimes you need to do your research, there's so many things you can learn online. Do you understand? So I feel like that situation, I don't know if it could have been avoided, but
it could have been.
I mean, this is a wake-up call to mothers. Not everybody has motherly instincts, we understand, and no one is born a mother, but you just have to try when you're in that kind of situation. There's so much more you can do. Nobody should be proud to say, oh no. Go meet somebody, talk to somebody, push them, shake them. I need help, when it has to do with a child.
There's something you said which really got to me now. Nobody's born a mother. Like, you can't, motherly instinct and all that. They're not there and all of that. But, I think, because we've seen issues where something happened, like, is that the person's mother that did that? Do they teach, can that be taught? No.
Well, I don't know. Different people have different personality traits and different qualities that come out of them. There's people who are just naturally, who naturally just nurture. So even at 7 years old, you see certain girls, they already know how to handle younger ones and things like that. But there are some others that maybe they just don't care. So those kinds of people will then need to be taught and taken through the whole process so that they can become. But what's the point MM was trying to make, I think, is basically there's a lot of information out there that many people don't know. And look, if you present even in Lagos State, I don't think you can reject accident victims, for instance. And that's even adults. So once an emergency situation presents itself at the emergency ward, they will treat first. At least secure the life. And then before asking questions, okay, you need to get a card, you need to, or whatever it is that you then need to do. So I think that is a key thing that people need to know.
You know, this whole issue, you just reminded me of a particular incident I witnessed about 6 years ago. That was in 2013. I happened to be at the children's section, and this child was brought in choking. Apparently, the child was vomiting, and something happened, and the child literally died eventually. The doctor confirmed the child dead. And instead of the parents to take the child to, the mortuary or something, they decided to stay outside. They had called their pastor, started praying. It was the first time I would see a child get revived by praying. And that child got revived, but guess what? Instead of even helping the child up, because the child started puking, instead of helping the child up, they continued rejoicing. And the vomit was what choked the child, and the child eventually died. It's something that still creeps me out till date.
Mothers, we need to do more. We really need to do more. And that's it on Coffee Gist this morning, guys. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Next is our first musical performance for the day. And of course, his name is Jasmine. Hey, how you doing?
Fine, I'm fine.
All right, so talk to me. You're performing to the song Savage this morning. What's Savage about?
Savage is about everything. About life, about my friends, and about what I've been facing.
All right, great. All right, so I'm just going to let you quickly get to it. You've been in this industry for a while. You have major singles, past tracks, which of course we'll talk about later on. Yeah. But I'll just let you, perform to your Savage song later. Okay. All right. Okay, so sorry, we still have, more time to talk. But anyways, tell me, how's it been? You're not signed under a record label. What's going on?
No.
How's the hustle been? Because I can guess it's not been easy.
It's so hard for me, like, usually, instead, we just have to do it because we are born for it.
You are born?
We are born for it.
So, talking about music, what has inspired you over the years?
Wow. Yeah. Some lyrics and some book I've been reading. Okay. Understand? Many things have been inspiring me when I'm going. Many things I see. Understand now.
Okay. Yeah. I know that there are a few stories, that have really challenged a lot of artists, over the years. Yeah. What's that compelling story for you, that, keeps, making you keep pushing, like, I'm not giving up, regardless of the fact that, it's been really tough?
Okay. Many things, understand. I've been seeing many people going through challenges and stuff now, and they're seeing it through.
I'm talking about you now. I'm not talking about other people.
Yeah. So I'm going to win it. That definitely.
Okay. So if other people can do, you can also do it.
For you, I can.
All right. So what are your expectations? What are your dreams? What are those projects of future, realistic plans that you have, in the nearest future as an artist?
That's very huge. Like, usually, the future is bright. I just have to do my thing my way. Okay. There's many songs coming, many albums. Even without label or with label, I got to move. Like, usually.
I like that he got to move. I hope you're inspired by that this morning. So I'm just going to let you perform to your song. Take it away.
Okay.
Broke nigga never link up. Yeah, we package. My team a fucking savage, yeah, broke nigga never link up.
We made it through the first hour.
Yes, we did.
And and an hour has gone by.
Just like that,
And the next 1 hour block, about to. I can't believe I'm still off in
We are quite glad that you have stayed with us. Yeah, of course, you're watching the show with us, and we've had our Coffee Gist, which was a bit sad, but lots of other stuff and a performance as well on the show. We have about 2 hours to go.
Yes, indeed. It's still a beautiful morning here in our studios.
We have Anyway, it's going to be a special day. It's Thursday. We're looking forward to the weekend. But my name is Yomi Hope.
And I am Mary Bashwa Alimi. We're streaming live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook and Instagram at TVC Connect.
Yeah, send in your comments across the social media platforms. Use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Now, please remember we have an app. It's available for download on both Android and iOS stores. Now, this app allows you to watch us live from anywhere, absolutely anywhere in the world.
Yeah, guess who's back in the building this morning? In the kitchen, we have Chef Elias and MM, and they're going to be whipping up something nice.
Yes, we will.
I love Chef Elias because of his colors.
Yes.
So
now I'm seeing yellow, green, and red, and it's just, you know, very nice.
You know,
Chef Elias is one of those chefs, those international chefs, guys. I ain't joking. I ain't watching you. I'm not even, you know, trying to impress him here. But he is really, he's a real professional when it comes to cooking, guys. No jokes, no jokes. And it's so good to have you join us today. Thank you so much. And it's cooking something very interesting with Gary. So, guys, you got to stay tuned for this one. Don't go anywhere, trust me. You don't
Gary
want to
and
miss it.
peppers.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
You know the best part? The fact that I'm going to be in the kitchen later with him. I can't wait for that. Chef Elias, ça va? Bon. Okay, so we move on to the highlights now.
What I'm seeing there is chicken. Anyway,
Let's move on.
Let's go to the highlights. For some inspirational poetry,
Chicken these days, eh?
we have Michael Taiwo Oloyede. He's a next generation poet.
And for the latest in the world of gadgets, we have tech, which is up in a bit.
Oluwadamilola Tella, also known as Oluwadamilola Music, is an Afro-pop singer and Fuji singer. She's going to be performing her song, Kokpe Meji.
Interesting name.
I like her voice, very
Yeah,
nice.
very nice.
Nice, smooth flow.
And then, of course, we have Victoria Olatunji Olayemi. Now, Victoria is the author and writer of the book, Stand Out or Be Left Out. And she'll be joining us shortly to talk about the book.
Now, Mudashiru Ayola is an artist whose style is twofolds. And of course, it's called Hula Motifs.
And then our last guest for today is award-winning Nollywood actor Lydia John. Can't wait to have her here.
Destroy it.
So, a follow-up to what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
You know what they say, that it's easier to marry a bad spouse than to marry bad in-laws. I've always wondered at the sense in that.
I've never heard that before.
It's actually a very popular saying, but the story told earlier made more sense with that.
Okay, about the in-laws.
The in-laws,
and
like
with the sister-in-law.
you're busy insulting someone that just lost a child. That's already a very bad thing to do. Are you trying to tell her to go kill herself that she's lost a child? That's crazy. You don't do that at that moment.
Yeah, and actually, there's depending on who the person is, if someone is facing that kind of pressure, there's also the danger that they could harm themselves.
Yes,
of course.
I
mean, that's her only child, and to think that she actually has tried for so long before she eventually had that baby, and it's a time for comfort.
Like, don't worry.
You try to encourage her, and she was badgering the lady. She was shouting. She was screaming. I'm like, I don't understand, madam. Do you love this child more than the mother?
And there was something else you said.
How are you helping?
You said the lady was saying she has 7 children. Why didn't the lady come to meet her for help?
Yeah.
As soon as you made that statement, I just tuned off. You know why? I just said to myself that for a lady who knows her sister-in-law has 7 children and she couldn't go to meet the sister-in-law, it shows the kind of person that sister-in-law is.
Well, not necessarily.
She's not approachable.
Either way, I mean,
it's
we weren't there, so we can't really tell.
See,
but,
we weren't there, Yomi, but the fact remains that when you have a problem with a child, if you have a close unit family, there's no how you wouldn't have told somebody. You won't wait till...
Especially when you don't have money to take the child.
You have to take the child to the hospital
Sometimes we actually wait for people with problems to reach out to us. to solve their problems. So, and while you know that this person has a problem, so sometimes you don't have to wait for that person to reach out.
Yes.
There are many reasons why they may not want to reach out. You reach out to this person, you that have recognized that, oh, okay, this person has a challenge. I'm here to help. Let's be each other's brother's keeper. Let's not always have to, you know, wait for somebody to reach out before you reach out.
And if anybody's expecting me to go on about how the lady should have a job, I'm not going to say that, because there are some women who actually do depend on their husbands. Now, it's a matter of understanding. If someone is traveling and you know quite well that you're leaving a wife and a child at home, a wife that probably doesn't have a job, the least you could do is to at least leave something for emergencies. Many of us make that mistake. Men go off, they believe, if you need help, you can always ask somebody for help. But what if that person you put your mind on to ask doesn't have it at that moment? So it's also imperative to always try as much as possible, especially when you know you have a spouse that doesn't have a job.
That strong
leave
sense of responsibility
behind. Exactly. Yeah. It's important, please.
All right, we do.
Welcome to the kitchen right here on Wake Up Nigeria. It's weird, but it's my first time in the kitchen this week. Okay, so we have Chef Elias here with us, and he's going to be preparing something really interesting. What are you making for breakfast?
Today, I want to make a gari jollof.
Gari jollof?
Yeah, popularly they call it pinot. It's something that from West Africa, especially you cross to Benin Republic, Ghana, Togo, we are going to come across a dish like this. Okay. So today we want to just put value on gari that we have. It's not only a buy, but today
or to soak we want
to soak it, to cold water.
With granite or kuli.
But this time around, we want just to give it another value so that people can be able to be using it for other things.
Okay, let's get started. What's the first thing we're doing?
Okay, the first thing, first of all, we need to grind our tomato and pepper. And we need to, you can go with beef, other protein that you have. It doesn't matter. But today we are going to use chicken. And we have some local spices here. We have salt, curry, thyme, and some garlic. Okay. And we are going to use a coconut oil today. Okay. You may use vegetable oil if you have it. So
you make this, right?
Yeah, we make it. We make it coconut oil.
Interesting. Okay, so of course the peppers as usual.
Yes.
Are you grinding those or you?
We shredded this one just for the chicken or the pepper and the tomato. We grind it and we make a little bit sauce. Okay. Just exactly like you want to do your jollof rice.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Let's get started then. Yeah. So what are we doing first?
Okay. First of all, let us just quickly begin to cut our peppers.
Okay. Now, peppers are an essential to this dish, or it's not really necessary?
It's not really necessary, just to give a color to the protein, that's all. Okay. Just to give a color to the protein.
So run us through the process. How do we make this?
Okay, first of all, we'll have your
No, go ahead with the cutting, don't worry.
First of all, you have your pot. You just add a little bit oil to the pot.
Okay.
After blending your pepper and the tomato, you add it. But before you add it, just add a little bit garlic to the oil to bring the aroma up, and add your mixture of tomato and let it fry a little bit. Season it up, add a little bit stock or water, and let it start boiling, and you add gari and you turn it.
Okay. Go ahead and cut.
And you bring it out. So it's just something like that, simple.
Okay.
So the chicken, you may prepare the chicken as you want, but here we want you to stir fry the chicken a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. So for this, oil first, then we put. Why are we going to cut this up?
No, we just blend it a little bit. We blend it so that it will be smooth a little bit, like you're going to do stew.
Okay. Yeah. Say, for example, I don't have a blender at home. Yeah. Is it not possible for me to really cut it into tiny pieces?
Yeah, you can cut it in tiny pieces. You just chop it. It's to give you exactly the same result.
Why don't we do it that way? Let's see how it turns out.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the other things we can do with this? Like, this is supposed to be kind of like couscous?
Not really couscous, but this is normal pure gari we have here. But you may...
What you're trying to achieve, because, you know, we've had couscous jollof here.
Jollof, yeah.
Yeah, so is it going to be like couscous jollof, but this time with gari, or
yes.
it's going to be different?
No, it's going to be like
that.
Couscous jollof, but this time around it's going to be used like gari.
So it's going to be really soft like couscous?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I'm very curious about this. I'm very curious about this. Okay, so I'm going to let Chef Elias continue with the cutting and, of course, getting our meal ready this morning. We'll come back to show you how we're going to couple everything together. In the meantime, however, it's time for a break. Stay with us as Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes, of course, it's Wake Up Nigeria, people. Welcome back. Poetry is often characterized by intensely personal imagery and allusions that can be inaccessible to the majority of listeners and readers' mode. And poetry right now is free at large and of that requirement. And joining us for a prompt this morning is Michael Taiwo Oloyede. Hello, mister.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Spoken words, poetry, wow. That is one industry that's still growing.
Yeah,
and we're all, you know, we all actually appreciate, you know, the progress at which it goes. So I would like to ask you, how do you keep up with, you know, the competition, regardless of that it's a small industry? There's a lot of competition because there's always that need to keep, you know, bringing out something fresh, something new, you know, that keeps you relevant. How do you deal with that competition?
Okay, it's basically knowing the industry you're in and what it requires for you to remain fresh and relevant in the industry.
Okay.
So you bring out products, you probably write a book, you probably have a collection of anthology, or you actually organize reading or probably poetry slam just to keep the industry animated. So people, beyond competition, you can also evolve into some other things like becoming a copywriter and then doing you know, some other stuff by the side so that you don't just stay stagnant.
You've been in this industry for 10 years, for over a decade.
Yeah.
What inspires you every single time that you know, write a poem?
Oh, okay.
Or you perform?
Yeah, so the whole world is like a canvas for me, and thoughts are like my brushes. So every day I see people, I feel like painting words. Words come to us like resources. So whenever we have those words, we just want to create something with it. And words are actually beautiful because you don't go for them sometimes, they just choose you.
Okay, I know that you're going to perform very soon to your poem Invictus, but I'd like to test you a little bit.
Oh, all right.
Yeah? So you said something right now that people are like your canvas.
Yeah.
So I'm your canvas this morning.
Okay.
Recite a little poem for me.
Okay. You're like the silky gazelle of the esteemed paradise that
Wow.
blazes radiance upon my beautiful soul.
Wow.
If you can set me as a seal upon the head, your flowery hair and your smile is as beautiful as everyday morning sun.
All right. Thank you very much. You already got a beautiful soul, so I'm just going to let you do your thing.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Thank you. All right, this is Enlin Williams. So I'll just go. Out of the darkness that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever God is responsible for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I had neither winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeoning of chance, my head is bloody, but yet unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and the menace of the year shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gates, nor how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate, the captain of my soul. Thank you.
Wow. That was quick, that was fresh, I was feeling every bit of it. Tell me, what's the story behind Invictus? When you wrote that story, what was going through your mind?
Okay, I did actually write Invictus. It was written by Enlin Williams.
Okay.
Enlin Williams actually was a very brilliant man, so he was in trouble. His right leg was amputated.
Oh, wow.
So in the long run, his other leg also ought to be amputated.
Wow.
But he had a friend that he called on, and the guy was like, okay, don't worry, I'm going to treat you. So while he was laying still on the bed, he wrote this poem, that out of the darkness that covers me, no matter what I'm going through, I will not be defeated.
Wow, I really hope someone is inspired by that this morning, because that's a really strong poem. So amongst your poem collection, what's the best that you have written and you would, I mean, for you, it's going to stand the test of time?
Oh, okay. I think Lagos is killing me.
Lagos, I actually really want to hear that. Lagos is killing me. Okay, please. Tell me about it. Lagos is killing. How is Lagos killing you?
Okay. You know, Lagos is a very interesting place to live in.
Yes.
Lagos is like a fast-paced world where everything is a dash, is a flash, you know.
Yeah.
You just have to be out there. So people struggle a lot in Lagos. So whenever I'm driving by, I try to look at people the way they struggle to get buses. You know, people sell to you inside the bus also. People just come and tell you, oh, buy this drug. They don't care either it works or it doesn't work. Just
so
pay
I actually really want to
go.
hear Lagos is killing me quickly, please.
Oh, okay.
So I'm listening. Let's do this.
Okay, our pinches are whistled in loud whispers of men in economic diapers. Manhood, an allegory of blunt clippers. This Lagos explodes in my head with the thought of a million bangers. Lagos is killing me. I comb the nooks in hustle, getting a bus, a fistful bustle. Yet no seat to settle my limpos, I vigorously cordial lest I tell the tale of my vagrant money. No soul seems to blink with a pity, only a loud, Lagos has finished me. Lagos is a gambler. She taught me how to play lotto. To play and win, I sold my motto. I lost, she made me to the ghetto. Human live in plank duplexes sided on heaps, with jams, reptiles, and termites. Rooms are fully equipped. Existence maintenance bills keep you on self-medicated pills. Landlord stacks you with quick notice. You roll out like a rotten yam on the bean. Lagos has finished you.
Wow.
I know a lot of frustrated Lagosians. I know a lot of broken Lagosians. They pay for the blackout. My folks have gone to weed out. Some, out of sheer helplessness, pass out of reality to illegality, embracing the purity of insanity. Lagos has finished them. I know the spirit of Lagos. It's called Osu. I trek to save cost. In heaviness, tears out of my face burst. I took advice from bubbling bottles. I sleep with my eyes careful. Insomnia, my pride in Lagos. In my head, she sizzles like a mincemeat. A classy fare, a dragging mare to meet. In the heat of my bustle, I pause and kneel. I make confessions about this Lagos.
What blows me away about your poem is, I'm sorry I can't let you finish, is you have... The story behind your poem is so strong. I mean, the way you dabble with words is amazing. It's really, really amazing. I really wish I can get into your worlds and see things from, from your own perspective, because it's mind-blowing. Thank you so much, Michael, for this morning, for inspiring us this morning. And I'm not going to forget the particular one that said, because, I mean, everyone in Lagos does that.
Nobody sends in Lagos.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Michael Oluyeji. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, yes, people, you've heard, this beautiful poetry by Michael Oluyeji Taiwo. Next up is some tech updates with Mike. Hello, Mike.
Let's take a look at some updates this morning. Rwanda is set to phase out gas motorcycle taxes for e-motors. Now, the government of Rwanda will soon issue a national policy guidelines to eliminate gas motorcycles in its taxi sector in favor of e-motors. Now, it was explained that conversion to e-motorcycles is part of a national strategy to move Rwanda's entire mobility space to electric. The country will start with public transit operators such as motor taxis and move to buses and automobiles. The news comes as Africa's motorcycle taxi markets, which is worth an estimated $4 billion, have seen a flurry of tech investment and expansion. The Director General for Rwanda's Utilities Regulatory Authority, Patrick Nyirishema, prepared to confirm partners for the country's e-motor conversion. One startup that says it will be involved is Ampersand, a Kigali-based venture that has shipped its own e-motorcycle model, building the batteries and fitting them into new motorcycle chassis imported from Asia. Now, to keep the taxi motor riders consistently moving versus delayed while recharging, the startup has developed a battery swapping system and station, and they have already begun to pilot EVs and charging systems in Rwanda. Okay, now let's take a deep breath, man. Rwanda, they're doing quite well. I mean, they are leading the light when it comes to Africa in a lot of regard. And e-motors, or as it is, e-motorcycles or motorbikes are actually here, even in Africa, to stay. Great one, Rwanda, great one. Moving on from that, U.S. border officials are increasingly denying entry to travelers over others' social media. Now, travelers are increasingly being denied entry to the United States as border officials hold them accountable for messages, images, and video on their devices sent by other people. It's a bizarre set of circumstances that has seen countless number of foreign nationals rejected from the U.S. after friends, family, or even strangers send messages, images, or videos over social media sites like Facebook and Twitter and encrypted messaging apps like WhatsApp, which are then downloaded to the traveler's phone. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? Now, the point is, I've always had that feeling, if there is a video on your phone that you don't think that doesn't represent you, that you think doesn't represent you, get it off your phone. Get it off your phone, you know, because a number of phones now use cloud storage. Someday I'll talk about cloud storage and how it works. Some people don't know how cloud storage works. Your phone gets a backup regularly if it's set to that. So there are some phones that they back up to cloud, and even if you don't have those materials on your phone at the moment, if I wanted to check your account and maybe get your phone and you're traveling to somewhere and I go to your cloud, which you don't even know how to access, I could see all of that. And it's not on your phone, but it's in your cloud. It was on your phone. So get to know a little bit more about your phone. It's not just for making calls and sending text messages and dropping basketballs on Twitter and giving clapbacks and all that. No, it's much more than that. The world revolves around the mobile, the phone. So there's quite a lot about your phone. It's a big thing. Maybe I'll talk about cloud someday. Yeah, cloud. We'll do a DIY on that or something. How to access cloud, how to disable it, how to ensure you get the best from cloud systems, because even your Android phones now have cloud systems, not just your Apple devices. Okay, moving on from that, Google will shut down Google Hire in 2020. Now, Google has disclosed that it will shut down Google Hire. Google Hire is the job application tracking system it launched just 2 years ago. Now, Google built Hire in an effort to simplify the hiring process with a workflow that integrated things like searching for applicants, scheduling interviews, and providing feedback about potential hires into Google's G Suite. Now, it was built mostly for small to medium-sized businesses with a price that ranged from $200 to $400 a month, depending on how many G Suite licenses you needed. In an email to customers, Google says, while Hire has been successful, we're focusing our resources on other products in the Google Cloud portfolio. We are deeply grateful to our customers, as well as the champions and advocates who have joined and supported us along the way. On the upside, it's not getting the axe immediately. In fact, you can keep using it for over a full year. Google says it won't actually be shut down until September 1st of 2020. But just don't expect any new features to be added. Now, Google also notes that it intends to stop taking payment for the product in the meantime, saying in a queue that's frequently asked questions that customers will see no additional charges for Google Hire after the next billing cycle. So that's it. That's it. Quite a lot. The cloud don't still interest me, but that's all we can take on tech this morning. There's still a lot more to go on the show. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome again to the kitchen right here on Wake Up Nigeria. Chef Elias is still cooking up some magic right here. And today we are making something that has to do with gari.
Yes.
Yeah, but with a twist. Chef Elias, tell us about today's dish.
Okay, thank you very much. Today's dish is, and normally, generally, they call it pinot, but we call it gari jollof. It's made with, normally we call it stew as a sauce. You started normally like you want to make jollof rice, exactly like you want to make jollof rice. You blend your tomato, pepper, onions, you put oil, put onions, all those things, and you prepare the sauce. And at that point, preparing the sauce, like you can see here, if the sauce is well cooked, the next, what we need to do is just to add water and let it become like a little bit watery. And then we re-season it and get the real taste that we want. So after then, we just add the gari straight and be stirring it.
Wait, let's take it from the top. First thing we did was to put in the oil.
Okay.
Because everyone missed the process.
Okay, they put the oil. Okay. After the oil, you add a little bit garlic. From the garlic, you add a little bit paste of steamed tomato.
Now, that was something that shocked me. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Whenever I'm making jollof rice, I tend to just boil the pepper, like, you know, fry the pepper. You put your oil, you put your onions and garlic, and then you put the pepper. When the pepper is well fried, you add the...
steamed tomato.
The blended tomato, that's the tomato paste, and then you allow it to cook again, and then you add water, or sometimes you can add the rice, then pour in hot water, let it cook. But you did something interesting. You put in the tomato paste first, and you said it's for color.
Yes.
Now, this pepper wasn't looking like this. It looked like normal blended pepper when we started. Yet, see what it looks like now. You would think, you would think we use like what?
Color,
like
red color, all those
1,000
coloring.
naira worth of tomatoes.
You know, the process of getting tinned tomato into the sauce, first of all, is by the colors.
Okay.
Main thing is the color and the thickness of that come out.
Okay.
So get the real color of what we are doing as a sauce. After you fry your onions a little bit, you just add the tinned tomato and let it fry a little bit, so that what you are looking for will come up before you add your mixture of the blended tomato and the pepper together to the sauce.
So now we're going to let this fry. We've actually been letting it fry for some minutes.
Yeah, you just take like at least 10-15 minutes to be okay.
We spent about 7 now.
I'm just generally like within 5 minutes and it will be okay.
Then we add water.
We add water.
So and we allow the water
to boil a little bit, and we re-season it, so you have the real taste that you want. So from there, it's just like you want to wash your rice and add it.
Are we washing the gari?
No. But at this point, we are not going to wash rice and add it, but we just add the gari directly.
Okay.
So we turn it so it will look like a bar for us, rice like a bar.
Okay.
Yes. That's how
now let's move to our chicken.
Okay.
Because we've been ignoring the chicken, and the chicken is like, what's going on?
No, we'll come to it. So the chicken, they just add a little bit oil and pan, shredded your chicken. You may have a different type of chicken that you want to use, right? So here, you just to shredded it, and we add it to the hot oil, a little bit garlic. Yeah, a little bit garlic, just to get the aroma of it. Okay. So from there, we add small. You can add just pinch of salt on it, and all your seasoning a little bit.
Okay.
So
this is like seasoning cubes.
Yeah, seasoning cubes. This is a curry powder, just a little bit.
This is curry.
Yes.
It looks so much like turmeric. It's brighter than the usual curry.
Yeah.
What did you call it again? Curry what?
Powder.
Curry powder.
Curry powder, yeah.
The curry I'm used to is not this bright. It's usually a bit darker.
A bit darker. Okay. Yeah. It depends the product you are using. That's all. Yeah.
Okay.
It depends the product.
Okay. Because I could have sworn this was turmeric.
No.
Okay. So after this fries, what are we going to do with it?
So we just to add our colorful vegetable to it and stir fry it.
Yeah. This is a lot of color. Let me move it here. So we don't give our viewers too much work trying to keep up with what we're doing. So this goes into this. Same with the vegetables?
It's same to with the tomato.
The tomatoes.
Yeah. But the diced one, we add it to the sauce to bring color out.
To bring color out or to make people go,
yeah, it's just like decoration to you.
Okay. So the jollof is also going to have that color thing. Okay. Can't wait to have this meal ready. Looks really, really interesting. What ways can we serve it? You said there are options to the chicken. We could use beef.
Beef, pork,
fish.
Fish
works?
Yeah, fish works.
Fish, okay.
Fish.
Okay. Shrimps,
fish.
perhaps?
Shrimps, you can use seafood.
Oh, so it's something that you can use just about anything. The most important thing is getting the jollof properly cooked. Yeah. Okay.
You can go with anything you want to serve, you like to eat with it.
Okay. Yeah. Now, something that many people watching might be curious about, is there any particular kind of gari that gets you this? Because, of course, locally in Nigeria, we have gari jebu. That's the very, very crispy one, the one that when you taste it, you will sing to the high heavens.
It will be sour too.
Yeah. And then we also have what we call the yellow one, the white one, the regular white one. Yeah. So is there a particular type of gari that will really bring this meal out? I know you might say, oh, gari works, but is there a particular one that is best when you're cooking something like this?
I will refer to the white gari to bring it out properly.
So it's a bad idea to use the yellow one?
The jebu gari can bring it more because there's out of all starch out of it. So whenever you make it as a bar, it will not put themselves together.
Okay, so because most of the starch
is out.
So it's healthier then?
Yeah.
How?
Healthier, but just the process of getting it, that's just it.
Is more difficult and all that. Yeah. Okay, so we've cancelled out Ijebu gari for jollof. Yeah. So you use the normal gari.
Normal white.
Is it the type they call the kpako? That's the one that is still having loads of cassava in it, or
no.
smooth one,
The
but
smooth
not
one.
very sour?
Not very sour, yeah.
So we can't use the yellow gari either.
Use the yellow gari.
So if you're making gari jollof, get regular gari, yeah, not Ijebu gari or the yellow one. Who would have thought? Because you said gari, so I assumed any kind of gari.
A white one would be better.
Okay, okay, all right. Fantastic. Okay, so we will continue with the cooking process. Of course, you know, as usual, at the end of the show, you will get to see what we made of this. If you missed it earlier, we are making pinot, and that is jollof gari, okay, or gari jollof, whichever one you choose to call it. We're moving again to another performance, and this time Yomi is on standby. Yomi, what's up?
Something special is going to be happening. You know, Wake Up Nigeria, we bring you the very best music. We already had one performance earlier, but this one is going to blow you away. Now, Oluwadamilola Tella is also known as Oluwadamilola Music. She's an Afro-pop and Fuji singer who started recording professionally in 2014 and gained a measure of recognition through her videos on Instagram. Now, she is inspired by society and culture and by her daddy. She said, you're inspired by your dad. And of course, she just recently got signed up to a Temple Management Company. Well done, and congratulations for that. So you're going to be doing something for us called Kokwemeji today, and that's going to be really nice. So you've been doing music for 5 years. How's it been?
Well, it's not been easy.
Yeah, but you're signed up now with a management.
Yeah, I just got signed. So
you just got signed, so hopefully things should pick up quicker and all of that. So a blend of Fuji and Afro-pop. How does it work for you when you get into the studio? How do you put your stuff together?
Basically, I really didn't want to do the Fuji thing, but my label happens to be that's
probably what will really move the thing.
It's something different.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And Fuji is easy for me because I got it from my dad.
You got it from your dad.
Yes,
your dad is a Fuji singer and all of that, so it makes it easier.
Yes, it's actually very easy. So it makes.
So very nice, very nice. Anyway, so you're going to be doing Kokwemeji for us today, and I'm going to step out of your way so that you can deliver. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Oluwadamilola.
You can do nothing wrong and still nothing right, but I just don't mind. I only want you leave, go away with you, go away with you. It's
Well, it's 2 hours gone and about 45 minutes to go. What is left? And I promise, of course, it's going to be worth every single second. Did you like that last performance by Oluwadamilola? Very nice, very smooth.
Beautiful
Fuji.
voice.
So yeah, did she call it Fuji?
Yes,
yeah,
she said Fuji, an infusion of Fuji and pop music.
Afro-pop. She's fantastic. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
Very
and
nice.
that's why, see, if you missed it, that's why I advise that you just sit tight and enjoy the rest of the show, because there's more entertainment for you.
Yeah, indeed. Now, it's Wake Up Nigeria, and my name is Yomi Owe.
And I am Mary Bashua Alimi. You can watch us live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook and Instagram at TVC Connect.
Now, of course, send in your comments across our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
And of course, you know there's the TVC app, which is available for download at both Android and iOS stores. The app allows you to watch us live from anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Now, of course, we're going straight to the rest of the highlights for this morning. I love the smell coming from the kitchen this morning. Very nice, fantastic. This guy.
Loads of interesting stuff happening there. Just look at that chicken.
Oh, the chicken.
The chicken.
What did you guys do with the chicken?
So all we did was stir fry it, but in a different manner, thick chunks of slices. Can't wait to dig into that. Let's move straight to the highlights.
Yeah, so Victoria Olatunji Olayemi is the author and writer of the book Stand Out or Be Left Out, and she's going to be joining us shortly to talk about it.
And from there, we go on to Yomi to Mudashiru Ayola. Mudashiru, he's an artist whose style is twofold, mainly named hula motifs.
And for our last guest for the day, we have award-winning Nollywood actor Lydia John.
Okay. Hey, what's happening?
I was going to say that DJ Copy is on the cover of 3 newspapers.
Yeah.
And so she went to Borno State yesterday.
And she showed the faces of the children. That's the reason I haven't said anything about it.
Yeah. Which is very wrong. So it just looks like the publicity that's
it's publicity gone wrong, if you ask me.
Well, not gone wrong, but a little bit too much.
Why did she go to Borno?
Like, if you were going to...
She was actually in Maiduguri. Because I remember her tweeting.
Yeah.
I remember her tweet that said, "Oh, I'm in Maiduguri actually, which is capital of Borno State." But she didn't say in the tweet
why she was there. Well, if the children have parents, then it's fine.
And the tweet was an excitement.
In some cases, you have to sign.
If the parents are alive, then it's fine. It's not a problem. But if they're orphans, then usually they usually say avoid.
So what's the issue that she showed their faces or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out because she showed her face because she took a picture with them.
Yeah, showing their faces. IDP. You did not take the pictures with random children. You took it at a particular spot. And you know the way she does her publicity, that thing is going to go all over the world.
Well, the thing is that she went there. She went as an ambassador of a UK foundation, a British foundation. So, and they sent her there. I don't know. I don't think there's anything.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That maybe she must have made an impact there. I don't think she went there for sightseeing. I think she must have made an impact, you know, at the IDP camp because you can't just go to the IDP camp and not do anything. Just
whatever. That's fine though. I just want to quickly mention today is Individual Rights Day. Today is Lemon Juice Day, and finally, More Herbs, Less Salt Day.
More herbs, less salt.
So you have to do more herbs, like do more of rosemary, you know, garlic and stuff, and then reduce the salt intake in your food.
Yes, because sodium actually, I said sodium, salt actually
You're
is very
actually
high
right,
in sodium, which actually eventually affects your kidney and your liver, which could be very harmful. And a lot of people actually do not know how to do. Just pack the salt in the food.
And you made me remember in Twitter I saw, they said, Nigerians have a way of putting salt in their food. They keep putting it onto their ancestors.
It's okay.
So it's your sensors that will tell you that.
It's your ancestors that will tell you, don't do.
Anyway. Now, you know, on Thursdays, we do books. And I have here with me a special book, Stand Out or Be Left Behind by Victoria Olatunji. And now she is a certified life coach, a self-driven social entrepreneur, passionate about youth development and ladies empowerment. And she's dedicated to engaging budding female leaders and entrepreneurs with the aim of innovation and progress. Of course, she's here to talk about her book today. And now, I like what you wrote as a writer for this book, which is the intentional things to do to achieve excellence. I love it. Very nice. Now, the forward of this book is significant. Emeka Nobis was talking about the fact that he's an engineer, and as an engineer, he knows that everything about engineering is process-driven.
Exactly.
And he then compares it to life, that if you're going to be successful in life, if you're going to reach certain outcomes, there has to be a process. Is that why you wrote this book?
Exactly. Because when I shared the vision with him, it was like, Victoria, reading through your book, all I see you emphasizing on is how to stand out, how to live for excellence, regardless of your limitation. And this has been my drive, that whatever we're passing through, that should not make us to you know, think that we cannot achieve whatever we have in mind or whatever we've proposed to achieve in life.
Very important, and it was the first thing you talked about in the book. You talked about failure, the fact that most people are afraid to fail, but you cannot be successful if you don't fail first.
Yes,
so that's
you have
one
to
of the
pass
things.
through that process.
Yeah, so tell us about failure and why this was so key to putting together this book.
Okay. Well, one big challenge youth of nowadays face is, you know, the fear of failure. Okay, and the fear of failure doesn't just come to you, it comes as a result of probably your mindset towards the goal, your aspiration. It also comes through your background, like how you, probably the way you grew up or something. So, and this major challenge is something that I really wish to talk about because I've passed through that process. Yes, I've faced countless times. There was even a time I was almost called a professional failure. But you know, it has to get to a level that you have to fight within yourself that I refuse to be a failure. I refuse to be called a failure. Yes.
There's an acronym you use for failure in page 21 of the book, which says force attracted in living up rightly for excellence.
Actually, I actually got that when I was writing the book. You know, you don't attract failure when you're just in your comfort zone. You attract failure the moment you realize that I need to come out of my comfort zone. The moment you begin to think that I want to be more in life. So failure is the force attracted towards living uprightly for excellence. Yes, you don't attract it when you're not thinking of progressing in life.
Yeah, now one of the things you talked about in the book is daily investment. And, and it wasn't just because when you think about daily investment, when you think about investments, you think about money and putting it in something, but you talked about daily investment in yourself, in your personality.
Exactly.
And why is this connected with success and standing out?
Definitely, it's whatever you have in your inside that comes out wherever you go. So if you've not digest something, you can't, you know, express it outside. So whatever you've invested in yourself, is what comes out of you. So daily, whatever it is that you know your focus is in life, you must learn to invest in yourself in that line. It's very, very important.
Really important. A major thing that I saw in the book as well was, you know, you talked about attitude. The fact that this is really, really important. In the 21st century, it's one of the first things that people notice about you when you go out there, and it's integral to success. Can you just give us a little bit of insight?
Okay, attitude, you can't hide it. So the moment you step into a place, they already know who you are with the way you speak, the way you dress or something. So attitude, you know, there was a time a professor walked into the class and was asking the students that what is that thing that a human can do that we amount to excellence 100%? And most of them were talking about peace, they were talking about happiness, but he told them, just scribble this out. He wrote, A is 1, B is 2. So let's do that to the Z, which is, let's do that to the Z. So when they started calculating, happiness will give you 107, but attitude will give you 100%. So wherever you go, that attitude is very, very important.
It's key, and you know, it was one of the things that you said was important when you were trying to go for a conference and you were just a student.
Yes.
And you didn't have money to pay for the conference.
Oh my God.
But you walked in.
Yes.
And you know
with the eagerness that I would just want to
coordinator of the conference just looked at your attitude and said, okay, I should give her the opportunity.
He said the conference, the gate fee is 3,000 naira. I told him I only have 1,000 naira with me, but I wish to attend this. So he told me, okay, you can just enter without even paying any amount. But if I had felt, I can't even pay that amount, or I just walked out,
bad attitude
or something, so it wouldn't have allowed me. But that conference really changed a lot of things about me.
And because you inspire young people, I mean, as we begin to round off down, because you inspire young people a lot, what would you like to say to young people today about their attitude? Because it looks, a lot of people complain now, maybe the older generation, they complain about the young people of nowadays, that's what they say. What would you like to say to young people about their attitude to life and to achieving success?
Number one, everyone needs to take it easy on themselves. Wherever you are, take it easy on yourself. Don't say because my friend is achieving this, is doing this, I just want to force myself into it. No, because you personally, as a person, you have your own role to play in life. So you don't copy someone and say because you know, I want to do what you're doing, and I start learning or copying your own attitude or something. No, it will only bring you down. But if you know who you are, you work on a very good attitude towards your aspiration in life. So this will always help you wherever you find yourself.
Wow, Victoria Olashinde, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you.
on the show today. And the book is Stand Out or Be Left Behind. And you can get your copies and check her out online and follow her on social media as well. So let's find out what's going on in the garden with Mary for an art display right now.
All right, we're in the garden, and this time we're talking art. Art is beautiful, and it's always a pleasure for me to talk about it. Today is going to be with Mudashiru Ayola. Great to have you here today.
Thank you very much.
I've been admiring your artwork. I've been taken by all of them, and I can't wait for you to tell me everything about all of this. So before we do this, how long have you been doing art?
Well, I've been drawing since I was very little. Then eventually I went on to study fine arts in OAU.
And there was no opposition, because I know in your generation you had to be a doctor or a lawyer. There was nothing of such from your parents.
Actually, there was a bit of resistance.
Okay.
The little bit of resistance was like you said, my peers were going for all those courses and everything. So eventually when I told my father that I was going to study fine arts, it was like, oh, why? I said, you can say I've been drawing all my life. So we now remember that there was a professor friend of his that was a professor of art in OAU. Oh, okay. Now I said, well, okay, maybe you'll go on to be a professor of art. Well. So that was when he accepted, even though it's a bit expensive to study because of the material. Yes.
People take it for granted that fine arts, what's fine arts? It's expensive.
It's a bit expensive to study. You know, the art materials are not cheap. So it was like every time I go, I'm buying materials, I'm buying brushes, I'm buying turpentine, I'm buying oil color.
But it was good sports about it.
Eventually we were able to scale through.
Oh, nice. Okay, so let's talk about your artworks.
All right.
Let's begin with that one. I don't know if you can bring it forward.
Okay.
What is this one called?
This one, I call it the Cradle of Creativity.
The Cradle of Creativity.
Part 2.
Part 2. Oh, there's a part 1.
Yes, I did one many years ago.
Okay. So tell me about it.
You know, if you are familiar with the Yoruba setting, this is the shape of the Okpon Ifa.
Okay.
And
true.
you know, we believe that the Ifa represents creativity, represents divinity.
Yes.
So and we believe that Ife is in the Yoruba culture, is the cradle of creativity.
Yes.
So I use the Okpon Ifa to represent the Ife, which is the cradle of creativity.
Okay.
And to now prove that my work is creative, I now put, instead of the regular designs on the Okpon Ifa, I put these motifs that I invented, I created into the arts.
Okay.
You know, I use them on the Okpon Ifa.
What's the origin of these motifs? They look very familiar, but I'm not sure. I feel like I've seen them, but I'm not quite sure where. What's the origin of this?
Exactly. It originated from the Hausa caps.
Hausa caps?
Yes.
What about the Hausa caps?
All right. We have the motifs on the Hausa caps. They call it...
That's true. Those designs on Hausa... I haven't seen this in any artwork.
It was a style I invented. My first set of works were exhibited in year 2000.
Okay.
We did what they call the Best of Ife 2000 that year. So I actually exhibited the majority of the works. I exhibited 8 works at that exhibition, and that was when I launched this my style.
Fantastic.
And I've been
I feel like
doing
we
them.
could keep talking about this. So that is really predominant in all your paintings. Now it all makes sense. So that's the hula motifs that you're talking about.
Yes.
Okay. Because the Hausa caps are called hula motifs. Okay, let's talk about this one.
All right.
This one looks like it's a lot older. Okay, tell me about this one.
Okay, this one was painted in 2010.
2010. Okay,
Yes.
so what does it tell? What's the name of this painting?
Okay, I call it the Crescent Moon.
The Crescent Moon.
Yes.
Oh wow.
So I used the motifs to bring out the shape of the moon.
Oh wow.
This is in its crescent
lovely
form.
It looks like it's older than this one.
Yes.
What about this one?
This one was painted this year.
Oh, this year?
Yes.
Okay. What is this one called?
I call it Ateleweni.
Ateleweni.
Yeah,
okay.
Ateleweni, which is like Ateleweni ... We know, if you know the Yoruba proverb, Ateleweni kintonije.
Yeah.
You know, so I use the motifs in the place of the palm designs.
I see that here.
Yes, to represent me.
Oh, yourself?
Yes,
okay.
To represent my style, to represent my palm.
Meaning like it's feeding me. This is what I do for a living. Oh, wow. This is fantastic. This is awesome. Let's talk about the small paintings.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell me about that one. Let's start from the one.
This one?
Yes.
Okay. You know, let me give you a bit of inroad into my style.
Okay.
You know, because, you know, you mix, you can call it realism, abstract and semi-abstract sometimes, you know, like in the palm in the Ateleweni, you know, you see a real palm.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Then you now see the motifs and, you know, interpret it in any other form or way that you like. But these other ones
going about all of these paintings.
Okay. But like these other ones, it's more like jazz.
Jazz.
You know, when you in a jazz music, when
you know what?
Play,
we're going to continue this conversation by ourselves because the show has to go on.
All right.
Thank you so much, Mudashiru Ayola. Fantastic painter you are. I love all your artworks.
Thank you.
And there's more, of course, on Wake Up Nigeria. We'll take this break. Stay with us.
Welcome back, people. Award-winning actor and acting coach, filmmaker, TV and event host, and a mind and self-development coach is just a few things that she's known for, and she's joining us this morning.
I'm looking forward to the other things. Lydia John is popularly known for her character Adra in the Mnet Africa Magic TV series Hush and Battleground.
And she has also featured in over 40 movies.
Whoa.
Wow. And she still looks pretty young. She's joining us this morning.
Why do I feel like 40 is understating it a bit?
40 is a lot.
I said it now. I knew.
So you've done more than 40?
Like how many?
It's quite a lot.
I have to finish closer to 140.
Wow. So
well, if I'm going to add stage to it, probably be.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, if you add stage to it.
Uncredited works as well. Just
exactly,
stuff that, you know.
Yeah.
So on average, let's say monthly, how many movies do you do?
Monthly?
Yeah.
How many movies do you want to do monthly?
People do. Okay, so I had...
Because that's not the only thing I do.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You know, there's quite a number of other things and all of that.
So...
Okay, so let's talk about the other things that you do.
Yeah, like you said, I'm a mind and personal development coach.
Oh,
yeah.
That's nice.
So I'm literally all about making sure that the person is fully formed, you know? Because if you look at the current situation in our country, it's nothing to write home about. It's not even something you want to be proud to say you're Nigerian right now. And I feel that it's because a lot of people have not been taught about integrity, you know, these salient values like integrity, loyalty, honesty. We've heard about corruption too much that we haven't heard about integrity in a long while. So I've taken it upon myself to, you know, tell one person, the next person, and the other person. So that's why I'm a mind coach and a personal development coach, you know. And this whole suicide and depression thingy. So I go about and talk to people about it. You need to build a strong mind. No matter the depressing state of the nation, you just need to be strong for yourself.
Why the mind, though? Because talking about the mind is almost like, when you talk about mind, it's like getting into someone's mind. You never really know what you will find or what to expect. But you then decided that this was something that you were going to focus on.
The mind, for me, your output is determined by your input, right? Your actions are determined by how you think. As a man thinketh, so he becomes. Now, the things that is happening everywhere, the things that are happening everywhere just shows how we think. And I think we need to disrupt that thought pattern. It's not working. It's obviously not working. So we need to disrupt it by placing or reintroducing this positive values, this moral values, this really amazing ethics that just makes you move forward because the decadence it's heartbreaking these days.
Yeah, I like. Do you bring the same? Because speaking with you, I mean, it's obvious that you're deep and you think really deeply. So do you bring a lot of this depth into your acting?
Into your acting and your writing.
Yeah.
You're a filmmaker also and all of that.
Yeah.
So do you bring that into it?
Okay, if you're going to say deep, well, I'll say thank you. And this is who I am, so I guess I bring all of this, you know, I leave nothing behind. I'm trying to leave nothing behind, you know, we're trying to break through that barrier to give all of it. So I give that much to my acting, and I want to even give much more. I give that much to my speaking, because I'm a public speaker. I give that much to everything I do. I think I'm too passionate, and I love it, because, you know, we need people that can actually just go out there and say, you know what, we need to change this, and it has to be done the right way. We can't just do the status quo anymore. We can't go that way anymore. We'd rather, you know, go through a path, instead of going through a path where people already have treaded, we can, you know, find the path where there's no trail and leave a trail there. So it's more
So have
like
you
that.
ever, and as a mind coach and a public speaker, have you ever had a role? Have you ever had to play a role that was kind of embarrassing to that kind of status?
Well, as an actor, I love playing characters, so I don't know if I'm going to have embarrassing moments, because the great thing about being an actor is you need to strip yourself. You need to be vulnerable. So if you're going to feel embarrassed, you're not vulnerable, then you can't give your all.
Are you saying that there is no role you cannot do?
Absolutely. I'm just going to give the truth the character desires.
So if I come and say,
I mean, the clip we watched just now, you were like an armed robber or something. I'm not sure what you were doing.
Oh, you did, yeah. Let's talk about that one.
Yeah, we were on a soda robbery. It was a false robbery. So we just, but it was kind of badass, you know, guns, playing all of that. I really would love to do a Charlize Theron style of acting and Angelina Jolie style, kick ass,
No, not the, you know, the apart from the action part. What
man.
the other parts? What would you do an erotic scene or something?
Okay, depending on its what's it called, usefulness to the story. If it's not useful, I ain't doing that.
Well, what if you've already been contracted to do it?
Like a Lupita Nyong'o.
Okay.
12 Years a Slave. You saw that scene. You know, the way they play nudity, it's actually beautiful. It has to be powerful to the story, to the telling of the story. If it's not powerful, I'm not going to let my voice to it. Yeah, I'm not.
One of the things that I note about you, especially in interviews and in many things that you do, you talk about God a lot.
I love God.
And you talk about God a lot.
I love God, no.
And I've seen that in a lot of, even on your social media posts. I've seen that a lot in what you do and all of that. So can you tell us why this is so important to you in your work and all of that?
Yeah.
Well, I look at myself and I look at how far I've come and everything I have become and I'm becoming, and I realize that it's really not my power. There's some force somewhere, you know, directing me and saving me and all of that. And I know it's God. I ask him for specific things and he gives to me, you know, even before I ask, like he just knows my heart. And when people say, oh, they love my acting and all of that, I remember how I pray to him and say, you know what, you're the king of creativity. Just give me a little drop of that creativity and let me kill this role. And before I go for a scene and I do my sign of the cross, you know, I'm Catholic, I do the sign of the cross and I pray and I go straight in and they say, oh, you killed it. I look back and say, yeah, that was you, that was not me. So he's been there. Oh my God, I love him. That's just it. I'm not going to, you know, change him or replace him. No, I'm nothing without God, and I'm going to talk about him every single day till I die. Yeah.
Excellent. Anyway, we have to take you to the kitchen now. Something special that's happening there. But before, I'm sure she loves food. She loves God, so she loves food.
She loves food, right?
But there's something that you're about to start, a project that your personal project that you're working on. Just tell us a little bit about that as we.
Oh yeah, that's the Better You initiative. Yeah, it's actually a platform where we can correct societal ills, you know, using education. Yeah, as a tool of communication. So, and of course, it's a leadership platform, a mental and personal development platform, right? Because I feel for us to correct what's happening right now in the country, we need to teach people what they do not know and then remind them of what they should know, what they already know, but have not put it into practice. When we were growing up, we heard about integrity and all of that. You know, we heard about these things, and we saw leaders worthy of emulation, wanted to be these people. Now, I went to a school one time, and I said, how many of you want to become president? The lady, the smallie right in front of me, literally dodged the question like it was a bullet. I still have the video. It was scary. Nobody raised their hands.
Lydia, let's take you to the kitchen now. And
let's go on with our story while we head to the kitchen.
Yeah.
This way?
You'll be surprised by what they did in the kitchen this morning.
Ah, nice.
Please have a seat over here.
Okay.
Nice.
Thank you so much
Thank
for joining
you.
us, Lydia. Welcome to the kitchen.
I love this spot.
Today's chef is Chef Elias, and he made Gari Jollof.
Wow.
Yes, this is actually Gari.
Yeah, so I told you you'd
Yes.
be surprised.
There's a name for it, Pinot.
Pinot.
Yeah, so
Generally they call it Pinot.
yes,
Yeah.
but it's actually Jollof Gari.
This is Gary right now.
This is Gary. Tell us about it.
Okay, thank you
While
very
she has
much.
a taste of the Pinot.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Today we
She's
have
not sure she wants to try
jollof
No,
gari.
I want to try
Okay,
it, but
yeah.
it's just
We have
weird.
jollof gari,
Yeah.
which was made with gari, tomato, and then we have pepper. There's a little bit onions, garlic, and then you have some spices there. You just start very simple as you want to make your...
She didn't go for the chicken. She didn't go for the sauce. She went straight for the gari.
Because that's the new one.
It's something very interesting that you can, if you come across, you will come across it in maybe Benin Republic, Togo, Ghana, Ivory Coast. So those West Africa is
But
a
it's not
dish.
popular in
It's not
Nigeria
popular in
It's
Nigeria.
not a conventional
It's not
meal
popular
in Nigeria.
This is not. This is Ghanaian food.
So what do you
You
think?
can get it in Ghana. too.
Weird.
So
But
it's something
it tastes
today.
nice.
It tastes nice, right?
It has pepper in it and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jollof
it's
gari.
just
Yeah.
new.
Wow. I'm going to...
Enjoy.
Yeah, so don't just drink your gari. Don't sort of make it buy anymore. But now you can just use it to make something right.
That's
Make
spicy.
it something very nice.
Well done. Wow.
Thank
Another
you.
way to use Gary.
Oh, there's
So if
chicken
you are
there.
broke, instead of just soaking it, you can actually get
use
something
it.
more filling for yourself.
Yeah.
Really nice. Okay, moving on. We have to say a very big thank you to Hobly NG for the kitchen accessories. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and a big thank you to all our friends for joining us on the show today. Lydia and John, of course, Chef Elias, well done, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Good
much,
job,
Chef
good
Elias.
job.
Thank you.
And the arts man, yes, Mudashira Yola, fantastic artwork, well done.
Yeah.
And every other person who has been a part of the show today, thank you so much.
Yeah,
See you
your view is next, so stick
tomorrow.
around, don't go anywhere.
Yes.
And we're going to be back tomorrow
Have a nice day.
for another edition.
Bye.